Right, so in this video, I am going to give a demo of Workteam OKR. So Workteam OKR is all about helping your employees to create goals that align with the company's strategy. It's pretty configurable software, so I'm going to start off looking at the settings for OKR because there's a few talking points in there. So first of all, with Workteam, you can actually run two different cadences of goal periods. So you can have a long-term goal period, which is optional, and this might be if your organization has annual goals or biannual goals, then you can define a goal period for that. You can also define organization OKRs, and typically most organizations run to a quarterly cadence, but you can have any cadence you like for OKRs as well. And the idea is that you will set up people that are responsible for setting those top level OKRs. And you've got various other options also in terms of, whether OKRs may actually be set by individuals in the organization, or maybe you're just going to have organizations you're just going to have OKRs on organizations, departments and teams, for instance. And then once you've made those decisions, you can choose a few options in terms of alignment. So can your employees align to their managers' OKRs as well as the top level OKRs, or can they also align to departmental and team OKRs? Now, if you're familiar with the OKR process, you'll know that at the end of each goal period, you want to ask your employees to grade themselves. And so with Workteam, you can actually choose the number of gradings, the description, and the numerical value associated with each grade. And so they'll get an option to review how they got on with their goals at the end of each goal period. Okay, so you've also got the option to be able to specify a vision or mission statement. And there's just really a way of communicating to your employees the organization's direction. So if we come here and have a look at what employees see in terms of the organization's OKRs, you've got this one really powerful view which describes in one page the vision or mission statement or BHAG, the big, hairy, audacious goal for the organization. Then you've got the long-term goals. Obviously, this is optional, so you may not choose to turn this on in Workteam, but if you do, it's presented to your employees in this page. And then the shorter term OKRs, so in this case, the Q1 2020 OKRs. So your employees have a really clear vision of where the company is going, and that's going to help them to set their own goals. So we've actually got Workteam configured to allow goals on all three individuals, teams, and departments. And so once those top level organization OKRs have been set and published, then the goal setters for the departments and teams and all individuals can start setting their own goals. So you can see there's department OKRs menu item here. So this is going to be a shortcut to an employee's department's goals. So if they belong to a department, they'll get to see those department goals here. But they've got access to any of the departments within the organization, and they can also access those through the directory. So it's important to specify at this point that anyone can view the goals of anyone else. That's one of the really powerful things about an OKR tool like Workteam, is that you've got that transparency across the organization. You can just navigate your way around the organization and select the OKRs for a particular person and see the progress and everything. But you can also do the same thing for departments. So you can navigate your way around the departments and look at the progress for any of the OKRs in the organization. Okay. So we've also got this shortcut to team OKRs. Now what that's going to do is any teams that the employee belongs to will be accessible to them from here. But this is also where they can start setting their own OKRs. So I'm going to actually take you through the process of creating a new OKR, and we can see how easy that is, but also how powerful it is, because there's some really good options in there. So we're currently in the planning phase of Workteam here. So this is the time when you can start planning your goals. And I'm going to go ahead and add a new goal. So let's call this something like increase the sales of product A, something like that, for example. Okay, so this is an objective. Ideally, you want your objective to be really inspiring objectives and very clear and concise about what the ambitious goal you're trying to achieve. And you're going to, obviously, on its own, an objective, you can't say for sure at the end of the goal period whether or not we've achieved the objective in all cases. But that's why we have a set of key results which will define the success criteria for this objective. So with Workteam, we can just add a handful of key results to back up this objective. So let's go ahead and do that. So let's say that one of our key results will be to sign up 3 new channel partners, for instance. Okay, so for this key result, we may choose a units-based key result where the starting value is 0, the target value is 3, and the unit is channel partners. Okay, so there's our first key result. We might also want a financial-based key result. So we might want to say increase monthly recurring revenue from, say, 800K to 900K. Okay, and for this, we would choose a currency-based key result where we're saying the starting value is 800K, the target value is 900K, and currency is dollars, let's say. So there we are. Now, those are 2 key results that will need to be updated by the user. But what if we want to get the value of our key result from an external source? So we can do that with Workteam. There are integrations for allowing automatic updating of key results. So let me show you an example of that. Let's say that one of our key results was to increase our website visitors to 9,000 per month. And to do that, we can actually use an integration. We've got a couple of integrations here set up. I've got one which is a HubSpot integration. So if you're not familiar with HubSpot, it's a marketing-based CRM system. And we can choose a connection that's already been set up in Workteam. And then this takes us into some specific user interface around HubSpot. And one of the options here is I can just pick up this visitors. So you can see the current retrieved value that it's pulling out of the HubSpot system is 8,800. So we might say, okay, so our starting value is 8,800. That's where we are today. We want to get to 9,000. And we go ahead and create that key result. So this key result is now going to be updated by Workteam once a day. So once a day, Workteam is going to go out and get the value for that key result and keep it up to date. And that's a really quite powerful thing. We've also got integration for Google Sheets. So if you've got some KPIs in a Google Sheet, for instance, you can ask Workteam to pull the value from a specific cell in a specific spreadsheet. It's really powerful. Okay, so we've got our key results set up. The next job is to actually align this objective with another goal in the organization, a higher level goal in the organization. We can do that just by pressing this Set Alignment button. So you'll see that we're presented straight away with our manager's goals in this particular case, and I can easily choose one of those. If none of those are appropriate, I can work my way up the managerial hierarchy. In fact, Michelle's at the top of the hierarchy, so there's no one above her. So I can actually choose the company goals if I want. So I might choose just to align my goal with the company grow the business goal. But there are other options for aligning to department and team goals as well. But let's go ahead and just do that. So there we are. We've set up the alignment, and we are ready to go. That is our objective and key results. Our goal is now defined. So I want to show you one other thing with Workteam. Quite often, when you're setting a goal, you might depend on another goal in the organization. And if that goal doesn't get achieved, then it's going to impact your goals. So what you really want to do, if that is the case, is to be able to add a dependency on another goal. So we can do that by selecting from this actions menu, and we can now traverse this org structure and I want to find someone from the design department, because my goal is really going to depend on someone in the design department, Nancy in this case, creating a new design for product A, because I think that's really going to help with increasing those sales. So I've now created a dependency on Nancy's goal. So what that means is that if anything bad happens to Nancy's goal during the goal period, I'm going to know about it straight away. I'm going to be notified. I'm going to see it flagged up on the system. So I'll know straight away if there's something wrong. So if Nancy's goal becomes overdue, or if she marks it as at risk or blocked, then I'll get to hear about it straight away, rather than several weeks down the line when it's too late to do anything about it. So that is now we've set up our key results. We've aligned the goal, and we've actually made a dependency on someone else's goal in the organization. I am now going to submit these goals to my manager for her approval. So let me go ahead and press that submit button, and I'm going to switch to my manager's work team here. So you'll see that my manager has a goal plan for Simon to approve, and she can go ahead, open that. We can have a conversation around the goal. She can go in and make suggested changes, but ultimately she's going to go ahead and approve those goals. So if I switch back now to my work team, then we are now in what you would call the execution phase of this goal period. So this is when we want everyone in the organization to keep the status of their goals up to date and the progress of each of their key results up to date. That's really important. And people can do that manually. They can go into here and say, well, actually, this goal is at risk, or this goal is on track, or the confidence of this key result is actually much higher. So it's around 78%. So they can do that manually. What we tend to find is that if people aren't prompted to update their goals, then they generally won't. So we want to try and avoid that behavior. And the way we avoid that behavior is with something called check-ins. So you can think of a check-in as a set of completely customizable questions that you can customize at the organization level and at the team level. And you can, if you want, include coaching conversation style questions like, what big things did you achieve this week? What obstacles did you encounter? What do you plan to achieve next week? So these are really great questions for starting a coaching conversation between your manager and your employees. And it's actually a really powerful way of just being able to help your manager to coach your staff. Completely optional. You don't need to include these questions. These are just textual-based questions that you can include. There are also NPS questions. There are multiple choice questions. There's also an update goal question. Now, this could be the only question you choose to include in the check-in, but if you do, it gives your employees a really quick way of updating the progress of each of their key results and the status of each of their goals. Just simply with a couple of clicks to do it. So it takes less than a minute to go through it and update all the goals in one place. So here is the goal that we added. So we might say, well, look, this is on track. Actually, we've already signed up one channel partner, and we're on 810K MRR, and we're going to pull this manually this time. We're going to pull this down from HubSpot, and we're on 8811 visitors. So that's really easy to update. And then the idea is that this check-in would get submitted to our manager, and our manager would review the answers that we put in the check-in or any comments that we've added to the goal updates. And the manager can respond with a comment, but can also mention other people in the organization. So you can, just by mentioning people in a comment, you can bring them into the conversation around a specific issue, whether it's an answer to one of these questions, or whether it's an update or a comment on one of the goal updates. So once that's submitted, that does two things. It updates the manager with our progress against our goals, but it also updates Workteam. So let us switch back to my manager's Workteam, and if I go to her OKRs, so you're familiar with this screen. This is where she manages her own OKRs, but she has a couple of people reporting to her. And if she wants to go and see the progress of those people, she can click on the People tab and view their goals. She's got a summary of the situation with each person. If she wants to look at either of her direct reports, she can click there and go in and drill down through to the teams and see information structured in this way. But if she wants to get the progress of her entire sub-organization in one view, then she can hit this Progress tab here. So this is going to give her some useful bits of information. It's going to show her all of the goals, how they're segmented into each of the various statuses. It's going to give her a historic progress chart of how the team are getting on with the progress towards each of the goals, and various other bits of information which can be drilled down into. So for instance, if we are interested in the number of goals that have been updated in the last 7 days, then we can click into here and get more information like this. Obviously, if we're using check-ins, we'll be expecting to see this closer to 100%. Now, if we come down here, you can see at the bottom, these are the manager's individual OKRs, but the number you see in the middle here represents the average progress of all those goals that align to this particular goal. And the colors around the edge represent the combined status of all those goals that align to this particular goal. So if we want to get more information, we can click on here, and this will take us to a goal alignment view. So this is where we see our goal that we've just clicked. We can see that it aligns to the Grow the Business top level goal, and we can see that there are a couple of goals that align directly to this goal. But there are also some goals that align to this one. So we can click here to navigate our way around and see more information. You can see that there is some red and some yellow. So it's like think of it as a sort of traffic light system, where red means that the goal is blocked, i.e. if something is not done to unblock this goal, then it's not going to get achieved. So we can actually go in and drill in here and see more information around this particular goal, and we can start a conversation about how to help unblock this goal. And you can see that we've already done this by reaching out to Anuja to see if she can help Christina with unblocking this particular goal. So it's a really good way of being able to quickly spot goals that align to your own, that are blocked or at risk, and then go in and start a conversation about how to unblock those goals. Now, this dashboard that you see here is actually available on any entity in Workteam that supports goals. So, for instance, if we were to go to the department OKRs, then the legal department here, for instance, if I was to hit the progress tab here, we get the same dashboard, but this time the data is different. The data is all to do with the legal department's goals. And so, we've got access to any dashboard for the legal, for teams, and also for the organization as well. So if I switch back to my work team, then if I was to go to the organization OKR, so you've seen this screen here, I've got elevated privileges to be able to manage those organization OKRs too. And I can come to this screen and click on the progress tab here, and you can see it's the same dashboard, but this time how it pertains to the organization OKRs for this particular goal period. And we've got other information as well in terms of, the reporting. So we can see, for instance, objectives where the progress has changed less than a certain amount, for example, and we can go and create a report on that and then export that if we want to a spreadsheet. So this is a really useful way of being able to manage employee goals and ensure that they are aligning up to the organization goals. Now, what if we want to go a little bit more granular? What if we want to maybe create some initiatives for a particular key result or a particular objective so that we can manage a set of tasks or initiatives that go towards achieving a particular goal or key result? Well, we can do that with Workteam by selecting Start a Plan for this goal from the Actions menu. So that will create a new plan with the same name, and it will associate this plan with the particular goal or key result. Now, let me show you what that would look like, because I have one that I've already created on this goal, drive more market awareness of product A. So if I click here, you can see I've already got an associated plan, drive more market awareness of product A, which I'm now going to click on. And you can see we have got a set of initiatives that we can track the status of in just the same way that we track the status of objectives. We can also assign any of these tasks or initiatives to individuals within the organization. We can also give sight of this particular plan to anyone in the organization. So if they want to follow the progress of the initiatives towards a particular goal or key result, then they can do that. And we're also able to customize any plan in any way we like. It's fully customizable. You can choose, whatever fields you want to include. You can rename them. You can set the categories associated with any of these drop downs. So it's really powerful. And there are also, different ways of viewing a plan. So we might choose to view it in a tabular format like this, or we may choose to view in a sort of bucket-based format like this, where we can drag and drop the bits of work from one bucket to the other. So for instance, if we were grouping by assignee, we can then, take a task or initiative here and drag it from Simon to Anuja, and then behind the scenes, Anuja is going to be told, hey, you've been assigned this initiative, please keep it up to date. And she's then responsible for keeping the status of that task or initiative up to date so that everyone is very clear about the progress towards this particular plan. So that is a very quick overview of Workteam. If you would like to see more, then go to www.workteam, that's WORKTE.am, and then you'll find the links to the Workteam OKR set of features.